Crank man on dick.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Whatever time of day it is that you are listening to this podcast, I am your good fella, Young T Bell, and welcome back to the Man Training Podcast, where we talk about man stuff, simply put. So this episode, I'm recording it. It's 10:05. Gave the kids their baths, put Carter to sleep, put the kids to sleep. My eyes are sore. I am tired. And then the fun part about everything, as soon as I hit the record button, I started my audio, started recording my video, and I saw that the camera battery was getting ready to die. So I said, okay, maybe I can knock this out. I just need a good 5 minutes. And maybe like 10 seconds later, the battery on the camera died. So I had the decision to wait and let the camera charge so I can record it, or to just record the audio and let this rock as the podcast. Because if I did not do it now, while I have the gumption to do it and the spirit to want to knock it out, I wasn't going to do it. So I said, hey, let's go ahead and do this thing. We're going to just have audio this week. But you know what, T-Bell? Let's just put the podcast out and we're going to make this thing do what it do. All right. So this week's episode, I'm talking to women too, but I'm going to specifically talk to men because I think I mentioned this in a podcast earlier, in the Man Training Podcast, but I'm going to talk about it again because I saw this post on the Black Marriage Club Facebook group, and I posted a comment and responded to the question, but I'm putting it on the screen, and it said that the question was asked, what habit did you have to unlearn when you got married? And the strongest thing that I'll say that even to this day I'm, learning to deal with and learning to grow out of is trying to do my marriage the same way that my parents did their marriage. And the reason I say that is because my parents, they've been married, 35, 36 something years. And I literally, grew up watching and was blessed to be able to have both parents in my life, and both parents being involved in the household, both parents, involved in all the activities of my life. So even up until today at 30 years old, they're still very supportive, and they're always there, and they're always, supporting me, supporting my kids, helping me with our family, supportive and accepting of my wife. So they've been a very instrumental part of my growing and upbringing. But, as the Bible says, leave and cleave. That's probably one of the biggest things that I probably dealt with or still am trying to grow out of, because there's a bit of separation, but even at year 5 of my marriage, going into year 5, is still one of the things I know I'm still trying to learn from and do what works best for my family, because there are a lot of times where Joy and I'll have a situation or a circumstance. We'll say, how we should operate. What are you thinking? What should we do with this money? What should we do with that? How should we operate with the kids? And a lot of the things that I might contribute to the conversation is things I've seen my parents do or what I think they would do. And the funny thing is, when my dad gives his opinion about something, he always gives the disclaimer saying that if it were me, not saying you got to do it, but if it were me, like saying you ain't got to do it, I'm just saying this is what I would do. And a lot of the things I saw my dad do growing up, I know he did based on the season he was in at that time. And I was telling my boy AP, I was like, I've convinced myself that the season I really started paying attention to my dad, where he was learning how to maneuver and get through that season, I have copied the things he did in that season and took it as, okay, this is the template, copy, paste, finished product, and this is what marriage should be. When, marriage, you're really supposed to grow. And, they basically say how the person you married today isn't the person that you're going to be married to tomorrow. Or the person I married back in 2017 is not the person I'm married to right now. Like, she has grown. But if I convince myself not to grow with her and keep trying to do things that other people may do, or how you might see even people on like social media, if you see a couple doing something one kind of way, you might just be thinking, oh, they got it all going on, they got it together, blah blah blah. But you don't know what people be dealing with behind the scenes. Like now, I understand like why my dad had to maneuver in the season he was in at that time, but I'm still trying to work out how I can be the best man my family needs me to be, instead of trying to be what I thought was the template of a man, and how to raise your family. Because of course, this is my family, and my wife is different, and my kids are different, and everything about what we have now, me and my wife, is different, completely different than how my brother and I grew up. And it's just my family. Like, when you get married, you literally have to do what works best for you. You can't copy what you see somebody else doing just because it works for them. Like when people tell you like how to try and raise your kids, no, they need to mind their business, go about their business, so you can raise your kids, because they're your kids, they're not their kids. And people be like, I raise my kids like this. Well, good for you. I don't want to raise my kids like that. So just because you raise your kids like that don't mean I gotta raise my kids like this. But then it's or uh people with a marriage, some people might have like multiple bank accounts, some people might have just one bank account. Some people have you have your money in your bank account, then I have my money in my bank account. But it's like whatever works for your marriage, instead of saying, hey, let's do this because I saw my parents do this and Joy would look at me crazy. It's a bunch of stuff that we've had conversations about, and literally it wasn't Tyler talking, it would be Hyman talking, because I would tell myself, this is what my dad did in this situation, and if we're dealing with this now, this is what I should do. And Joyous will look at me like, that don't even, no, we're not doing that. And it's not like as when we did counseling, our pastor always told us men and women are different, and that's okay. Which it is, because Joy thinks of things differently, and I see things differently. I see big picture. She'll see the minor details that I might have missed out on. It's like what you bring to the table has to work for you guys. It can't work for somebody else, because if you're doing it for somebody else, then not gonna last. You're gonna get tired. You're gonna burn yourself out. But if you're doing it for your dynamic and what you believe your family needs, then it'll work out better, because you guys are learning how to work together. Like, I know the things my parents may have done when I was growing up, or how they raised us. You know, those days are long gone, because one, I don't know what my parents were thinking as they were raising us, based on whatever circumstance or situation would have arose at the time. And like now, things just are different. Things evolve, things change, seasons change. Like, things just change so quickly, and you just have to learn to adapt just to make it to the next day. So that's why I say I know I have to be better with learning how to, maneuver within my marriage, because this is my partner. I'm not married to Deborah Bell, and Joy's not married to Hyman Bell. Joy Bell's married to Tyler Bell. So if it works for Joy, it has to work for Tyler, and if it works for Tyler, it has to work for Joy. Like, that's my partner, that's my teammate, that's who I'm going through the trenches for it, because we're in this together. And Pastor Charles always tell us, if you fall together. It can't be no, I'm on one page and she on another page. We're going to fail together. But if we're going to succeed, we're going to succeed together, which means, the behavior of trying to do things somebody else's way, makes the fall even harder, because you were on two different pages and two different mindsets, and you weren't in agreement, and you just weren't working together. So that's the biggest thing I had to unlearn, trying to specifically do things the way I saw my parents do, because I think it also slowed our progress down, because it wasn't genuine. It was just me trying to do what I thought was right instead of what I actually felt. But now I'm starting to see, I of course have to learn how to use my voice and voice my opinion, and instead of just trying to copy the script from what my parents did, and learn how to do what works for me, and say how I actually feel, because Joy always asks me what am I thinking, and sometimes I'll just revert back to the script versus how I'm really feeling, which of course hurts me more than it hurts her, because I'm pushing my growth down and I'm slowing down the progress, and we're just not growing together. So I'm curious to see, or curious to know from you all, the question still, I'm have this on the screen. What habit did you have to unlearn when you got married? Mine was trying to run my marriage how I saw my parents run their marriage, because that, what works for one person may not work for somebody else. So put a comment down in the chat box below. What did you have to unlearn when you got married? I saw some other comments. One lady was like, I had a child already and I got married to my husband, and I had to learn how to stop just taking, considering me and my daughter's best interest, and I had to learn how to take my husband's best interest in a situation. I was like, I didn't even think about that, but see, that's another dynamic for if you got a stepchild or a step parent. You can't just consider just y'all two. If it's just been y'all two for the last 6 years, and then you get married, and then you got to start considering the husband. Like that's a battle, I'm not dealing with, but that's a battle somebody else is dealing with, and that's real. So yeah, leave a comment in the box below. What did you have to unlearn when you got married? Appreciate y'all rocking with me on the Man Training Podcast. I know the energy ain't as high as it could be, but I'm just trying to push through so I can edit this thing and get it out for everybody to enjoy. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you follow my family's new YouTube channel, The Bells Down South. We are trying to, one thing we want to do is talk about our journey. We have 3 beautiful children, and we want to talk about our journey, because what we really but just post is all the good, happy moments. But a lot of times people don't see the not so great moments. We always want to post the highlights, but we don't want to post the rough drafts of situations. So, follow us on YouTube to just, stay tuned with our journey as parents and how we raise our kids, and also as husband and wife, how we're just getting through the day and just how we are building our family dynamic to, just make things better, and how we're just trying to make it work for us, and how we are making our marriage work for us, and how our parenting styles are trying to raise these 3 tiny, beautiful humans into productive, successful, happy adults. All right. This has been the Man Training Podcast. I am your man T Bell, and actually, I kind of like doing it like this because it's less pressure. It's a lot of work trying to do the camera, do the light, record the audio, then trying to do a topic. I also want to get back to having more guests on here. So I'm working on that. I'm also trying to get back to being more consistent. Sometimes I've been taking like a week off here and there because if I get tired, then I just don't do it, and I don't want to put out no trash. But I feel like really calm right now talking to the microphone. I ain't gotta worry about no audio, no video, no audio. I ain't gotta merge no video with the audio. I just can talk, put my video up, and that be it. And I'm done with it. But I like this because I can just focus on audio, and I sound really good in the headphones. All right. Until next time, this has been your man T Bell. Thank you again for tuning in to the Man Training Podcast. If you like this video or this audio, whichever one, make sure you leave a comment in the box below. Answer the question, what did you have to unlearn when you got married? Share the video. And of course, always, you can't see me putting my thumb up, but just imagine me doing it. Until the next time, go be great.